All right. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and this is the Texas CBD Fair and Market online. So I hope y'all are having a great time on this lovely day. At the time of recording this, this is Friday, but at the time of y'all seeing this, this will be Saturday. And today's guest, we have Dr. Justin Redding. So go ahead and introduce yourself, what it is that you do, and your business.
All right, thanks for having me. I'm Justin Redding. I'm PharmD, Doctor of Pharmacy, owner of Mo-City Apothecary here in the Houston area, Missouri City, Texas. Our store is here to give the community resources to heal themselves naturally through uh, herbs and oils, mainly CBD, essential oils, aromatherapy, and also the services we offer going out to health fairs. We do workshops and yoga classes here in the store. And now we've transitioned to doing more of that online. And as a pharmacist, I'm here to answer any of your questions when you are using these herbs and oils and any other supplements you may need and how that may interact with medications you're taking so you know how much you need to take, what things you need to avoid. And we're here for the community just to make sure they're here getting their healing in the natural way, but also doing it responsibly and getting all their questions answered.
That's super dope. And just to let people know, like Justin was actually the first person out of literally all the fairs that I had done up until that point and just my interaction with CBD to even mention as far as the interaction with other medications. Like I feel like I've had several people on the show before, a lot of people that are in the medical or transition from the medical field and people that are on the back end that does a lot of the testing and different things like that. And man, hearing as far as their point on how important it is for, I had one interviewer and she was talking about responsible it was like responsible manufacturing or something like that, and the importance of making sure that people know, like, hey, if you're taking other medications, this can interact with it, and so super shout out to you on that. There's a lot of awesome things that are going on. One in particular is you're coming up on the year anniversary, so let the people know, as far as, like, I know you weren't expecting a year and to have a freaking pandemic come through.
Yeah,
uh,
this year has been a roller coaster. Just getting started last July, into June, early July, and having to make changes over time with the smoking age being increased to 21. So that affected our sales of the the vaporizer products and for me offering those nicotine replacement services because unfortunately that is a problem when people are trying to transition off of cigarettes and using vape. And then the news, people are getting sick from some of the preparations, just not knowing. Uh, People are being uncertain how to use it. So, and we went away from that and making the changes and offering uh, more services. So we started doing yoga classes with our CBD. I went to get my yoga teacher certification. So that has been a good way to help people connect and relax, taking the CBD first uh, before class, either through inhalation or doing the sublingual oil or doing an edible, spacing that before class just to enhance those benefits and the relaxation of the yoga practice and getting out. We've been getting out to health fairs in the community, like you mentioned at your fair, and many others around town, across the state, even down in Corpus Christi, where I went to yours. That was one of the first ones out of town. That one down in Corpus, and here a lot in the Houston area. Those are very popular doing the health fairs, and then also reaching out to other small businesses and churches to do back to school events and other health and wellness events here in town. And with the anniversary coming up, we're celebrating that. We'll have a yoga class in the morning and launching my brand of CBD, Dr. Redding's CBD, coming out with our gummies, our recovery cream, tinctures, the capsules, gel caps, and what I'm most excited about, the olive oil.
Oh, okay.
And been a love cooking for since as long as I can remember, since preteen age and all the way up till now, and sharing recipes and incorporating that with the CBD is something I'm excited to share with the people. And just another offering that'll be coming out next week.
Is there a cookbook coming out?
Yes, it is later on. That'll be coming out later on this year, before probably right before the holidays. So we're working on that too, and it's exciting. And getting ready to share that as well with partnering with some local chefs. That we're going to be doing some, if they're able to make it on the anniversary day, doing some of the, giving them some samples of the olive oil before, so they've been in the kitchen seeing what they can come up with, and hopefully they'll be able to bring out some samples or do some live demos with the olive oil, and having people come out and try samples of the other products. I'll be doing some raffles and some giveaways, and we already had the best prices in town, and this is going to make that even easier, having a brand that is mine, having one-on-one calls with the chemists in the lab, where you're having phone calls, hey, how did this work, the testing and everything, to seeing all that start to finish. I did not see all this happening within the first year, but it's just something, it all fell into place. And I'm happy.
In a weird way, do you, because this is one thing that I've been hearing from several people, as far as whether it be e-commerce or just in general, have you actually seen an increase in business since the pandemic? Like,
Yes, I have. I've been sending packages across the state and out of state, Illinois, Louisiana, even Texas is a big state, so even sending it something up to North Texas is like sending it out of state, coming from Houston. So yeah, I've seen an increase in the online sales. We've been able to link that to our Facebook and Instagram, so you can shop there, and link to our online store and from our website. And there's been a lot of increased searches for CBD and for relaxation within the area, and other benefits that people find with the hemp, and not just the CBD, because we also have the essential oils, the, I'm sorry, we got customers. We are answering a lot of his questions, but I'm trying to listen to. But yeah, that's what we're here for. What people have questions about, since we have so many things, our supplements, the different herbal teas. Some have hemp in it, and some are just different blends that have been blended specially for different conditions like joint support, the immune system, reducing inflammation, relaxation.
so how important was it, and for what reason was for getting in the hemp industry in general, as far as like, being a black man, being a doctor, there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to hemp and cannabis in general, and whether that be in the medical field or just in our community. And so, what got you into even wanting to get on this particular plant medicine life here?
I saw a need for it. I've been using essential oils since I was a kid. I had some family members that were using that to heal themselves, and as preventative health uh, since I was 6, 7, 8. So I've been exposed to plant medicine for a long time, and it got me interested in pharmacy, just knowing how things work in the body, and me having my love of cooking. as soon as we had our compounding lab, like, this is me. We're making creams, we're making capsules and gummies, and all right, let's. This is just like being in the kitchen. So that was for me for me to see how when people have control over what's going into their body, they can have control of their health outcomes. And seeing the, thank you for coming in, sir. Have a great one. Thank you. So when they're able to see the benefits of something uh, that was handmade, someone who studied the interactions, how those things occur in the body, I'm able to apply what I've learned in pharmacy school and how to break down the research, because anyone can publish something, but what we learned in school is actually see, okay, this is how they set up their study, the design of it, the methods they used, and see how they published their numbers to see if it was actually something significant, or because you need to see all of that, because the people are going to be exposed online, social media with information about different herbs, about CBD in particular. So we're doing a lot of myth busting here
Yeah.
when they come in, because those are the questions over the year. That's why I wanted to get into it. For the community, they need to know what's going on. And from a trusted source. Pharmacists have been one of the most trusted professions for a long time. So they come to me just sharing information about their personal lives, the medications they're taking, what happened with their uncle last week, everything. So they want to know how when you have that relationship with the community members, I feel like it was my responsibility to be educated in all this information using also my passion for it and combining those and delivering that in a package to them. So through uh, the information have here in the store, if they want to join in on the yoga class, or if they want to come into one of our workshops or special events that we have, this I like being in this space where I'm able to create all of those things. I've worked for other people for so long and didn't have that flexibility. I always excelled at doing my job for them, but I put so much energy in for them every day that when it was time for me to create something for myself, I just wasn't able to, just because either the exhaustion or just uh, didn't have the time. So now that I'm here, everything's starting to fall into place, and we're adding more and more, adding more services. So as soon as I saw the opportunity to start a small business, the shopping center where I'm located had some vacant slots because it was brand new, and I know the owners because they're my parents. So I pay rent to them for this place. They had been getting inquiries about opening uh, a CBD shop or a vape shop, and they knew my interest in me wanting to start something on my own, having my passion for everything from cooking to making things and using my pharmacy background. So it seemed like a perfect fit at the right time. And then one day got a phone call anyway that my pharmacist contract was abruptly ended like over a month early, but they just let everybody go. It's like, okay, this is the time, let's do it. And it went from there. In a few months, we about it open, and every day has been a learning process, learning more and more about the business. This is my first business. Luckily, I've had my my parents to help since they've been running businesses for decades now, having that experience, and then seeing them as role models and examples for the community. When people come in, it's like, oh, Black people own all this. Like, yeah, they do, and they got a lot more. So and now introducing them to people so they can help share their stories and help people get to where they need to when they want to start their own businesses and uh, just make things happen, because a lot of people want to, but they just don't know how. And I'm happy that I've been able to share just my experiences with people that come in the store, and also the health information, but also the people that have that entrepreneurial and business mind if they've been reaching some optical obstacles and they want to know how to get over those. I've built a large network of just talented people that know a lot about arts, business, and it's just been a lovely experience this year. So I'm happy every day. It's just
So, being a year in on it, and congrats on that, because it's like, a lot of companies that have been around for, several decades are having to close right now, and so it's a very great thing to be able to stay afloat right now and just offering the different types of services that you have. How do you think that has really impacted your community when it comes to the health, and then seeing this come from a Black face? Because yeah, I think I just read this article and it was saying about 5% of doctors are Black. And so there's a lot of us in the hospitals, but not a lot of us to actually tend to us. So how do you feel like that's impacted as far as your community with you doing this?
I they're loving it. I love seeing a middle-aged Black man in here telling me which teas he likes. Like, give me that circulation tea, give me that turmeric spice, give me that hibiscus tea, oh, and give me that male support tea because it's been working better than the Viagra. I love it. Uh, and they're asking the right questions. They want to know how it's going to affect their health conditions because I think and people haven't been as comfortable speaking about their health conditions, Black men, and just going to the doctor, talking about what's wrong. And if they're opening up, they'll come and talk to me about anything, especially the men's health part. Everybody wants to have better sex. So if it's going to help them, something to have in here, they've been lining up as soon as they hear about it. And just as people are getting older, they're having the aches and pains, and I'm able to give them tools to uh, have them find what's best for themselves to improve. So yoga might not be the best for everyone at one time, but it's about uh, finding where you are at this moment, recognizing that and looking to. So you can do that by getting your stress under control. I have many things that can help with stress through either aromatherapy, taking some of the herbs or the oils. You can, if pain is getting in your way, we got so many things that can reduce the pain. If you need help with sleep, we can help with sleep. And I appreciate that people are coming in and looking for those natural alternatives and not relying on prescription and non-prescription drugs to do that.
And that's a lot of what I'm seeing, kind of like this influx of people really. And I mean, it can be just a number of things from, COVID to whatever, but a lot of people are now, in some cases, being forced to look in the mirror when it comes to how they treat their body and what they put in their body. And just even a lot of the historical stuff, you have a lot of people that look like us that when you say yoga, they're just all like, oh man, that's some middle-aged, white woman stuff or something like that, or that's a woman thing, not knowing as far as the history of yoga and how that goes back to all the way to Egypt and the hieroglyphs on the wall. So it's just like being able to introduce that in the community. I think is super awesome, because a lot of people, I mean, I do yoga. One of the ways that I lost 100 pounds in 2015, and the next 3 years after that, I had stopped eating meat. And a lot of the way that I had lost weight was through yoga, meditation, and not eating meat, and very, very light exercise. The majority of it was the yoga and the shifting of my weight and the consistency as far as with that and what I was eating. It was just like both of them just worked, but with how important now more than ever is it to take that time to just be still?
Yeah, it's so important to take that time and know that. is the more that you stress yourself out, that's gonna weaken your immune system. That's gonna affect your gut health, which is connected to your brain. So it's just a cycle of immune system making you weaker. And if when people take time to go within themselves, take a deep breath, there are a lot of breathing exercises that really help bring stillness and really focus on things and start with gratitude. Is if you're still walking around breathing, you are, we all are very intelligent, creative beings. We have an opportunity to impact our environment around us. So if you just take the time to think about it, uh, I've been at times where I been without a job, but as I put my mind and my energy towards making what I want in my life happen, and now I have this one. Yeah, I've had some help. I have a degree to fall back on, and I went through years of school, but it always I always had to take some time to come back to myself and really really focus on staying on my path and not letting external things distract me, because there are a lot of distractions. The news every day is full of things that are there. It's horrible news. So it's hard to describe just because we're just inundated with so many images of people dying, people getting sick, anger, hurting. There's so much that needs to be healed, and I think we're not. When people take the time to heal themselves, everyone put that energy into doing that. That's when collectively we'll see we can see that healing when we need it.
Yeah, and I see a lot of that, like the rise basically of people that are, like I said, like it was like a forced thing, but it's like there was some preparation as far as for this time. Like this wasn't the first time that, America had went through a type of pandemic-ish type of thing. This is just the longest that it's been going on for, and because of that, you have so many people that are navigating the work from home life, and a lot of people that entrepreneur, because there's some like me being a creative, like a musician, a writer, and different things like that, and then having my business. Like when they said quarantine and everything, it was just like I really didn't leave the house unless I needed to in
Right? Yeah.
general, unless I had an event or something like that. So it was kind of like a cool transition, but then I started to realize how important those shows were, because of the human to human interaction and the energy that you get as far as through that amount of people. And so now we're seeing, as far as the shift, of stuff that's been here, like Zoom and all of these things have been here, but now the need for them is like skyrocket. So right now, just as a businessman, entrepreneur, what are some ways that you're balancing work life? That's been a hot topic that I've been seeing a lot of other people, kind of talk about, and a lot of them are just all like, make sure that you're easy with yourself during this time, like take that time, everything like that. But how are you balancing your task as a business and happiness?
Okay. So for me, it starts with how I start each day. So when I wake up, I'm focused on getting myself ready to go out to the store. That will start with a morning walk, morning yoga practice, playing with the dogs a little bit if I have time, just getting my mind and my body ready for the day. And when I incorporate that into my daily practice, starting with my morning smoothie, putting everything, loading it up with everything I need to get me through a good morning. And that's one of the things I've been using my CBD olive oil for. It's really good to add to a smoothie, and you get that the perfect dose of CBD for the morning. So finding ways to fit those things into the day, getting started with a morning meditation or having some tea time. I have a wall of different tea blends, so I'll pick one out when it's tea time. And I have a lot of plants in the store, so spending some time with the plants and just showing gratitude to every customer I have in the store, because these are people, they're sharing their stories with me or how their quarantine is going. A lot of them are educators, or some are in law enforcement, some are in healthcare. So it's been affecting everyone, and just seeing how they've been relieving stress, and I can offer my tips because that's part of my job and my personality has been in hospitality. So making sure everyone leaves here feeling better than they came. So that's just been how I've been most of my life. Just if you need something to eat, I've been cooking for you, um, serving the community, doing volunteer projects, things like that. So that's incorporating those type of things into my daily life is what keeps me grounded, what helps me uh, appreciate everything, because my life didn't really change either before this. I have the same schedule, waking up and going to work and going home. That's since I opened. I just recently have an assistant now, but before that, it was just me running the show every day. And given I had one day off now, I give myself a second day off in the week. But so just like you, my regular routine didn't really change much, but I've just been taking more time to keep my stress level low and keep myself brighter, just so the people that come into my store and I interact with daily can, a little bit of that will rub off on them, and especially with some of the products or the services that they're taking with them, boost their day, strengthen their bodies and minds, and uh, keeps me happy.
That's super dope. That's super dope. And so right now, recently, Texas did this BS ban
Um,
on smokable hemp. I went in, like, I made a whole podcast and an article and like everything about it, because I was just all like, their reasoning. There was about over 1,600 commenters as far as like opposing, like, yo, don't
I
do
mean,
this, yeah, and it was just all like, and they pretty much disregarded, and just for the fact that within the original bill it says, you know manufacturing and processing. Originally, that was it. That was all that was in the bill. But they felt like it was in their right to exercise as far as sale and everything else. And I'm just all like, yo, my main thing about it is, for one, why was this a priority? Like, originally, like, this went like it was just put on a bill like May 8th or something like that. And it's just all like, yo, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so why are y'all even trying to really do anything with this right now in the first place? But even then, when we're talking about an economic nightmare where you have the most cases of unemployment, and you have, as far as the president's daughter, with a campaign basically telling people, hey, learn something new and figure it out. And when you have, as far as something like the CBD cannabis industry, where the price of entry is a little portion of what you would get from a stimulus check, to be able to empower you with smokable products, because this isn't something that gets you high. On top of all of that, we're talking about smokable products on a land that was sacred, with people who use smoke as medicine, so it's highly disrespectful on like so many levels. But still, on top of that, you have people who are trying to figure out how to make an income, and this was something that they was able to use to make a little bit of extra income. Not saying, they said that you can still push the flowers and the buds and the loose leaf and everything like that, but we just can't say smoke.
yeah,
Even though whenever I'm getting some flour, It's usually the smoke, but you know, what are your thoughts on everything?
So yeah, like you said, it's BS. It's yeah, because when you look at how the different delivery systems that you can take CBD through, the quickest ways through inhalation, getting it through the lungs. Some people need that. Some people need that. So you're taking that away from them. I understand there's some safety concerns with how it's processed, so you want to make sure it's from a responsible, but we already do that work. As me as a responsible business owner, I'm making sure that the sources I get it from, that everything is tested responsibly for you to inhale this. Um, for me, I have a lot of the flour. I get very good flour that my customers like, but some of them don't want to roll it themselves. So having the pre-rolls ready for them is something they appreciate, and they come asking for more than just one. Sometimes they want a pack of 10 of them. It's going to be a long weekend. You know, I'm going to be closed Sunday and Monday. They'll stock up. But this law affects that because you can say the loose flour, the intention isn't directly the smoke because you can use it for several different ways. But when it's already rolled up in a cone, stuffed in the cone, I can't say that, oh, unwrap this and use this flour and put it in your tea or infuse it in your oil or your butter. And so I'm just thinking about those people that they don't want to. They used it because it was convenient, help them with sleep. I have some people that use the flour for or use their vape cartridge for relieving pain or helping them sleep after a long night shift. And these are people that are on the front lines of healthcare, working their night shifts at the hospital or relieving their stress because they're a teacher trying to figure out how they're going to do online or what the school situation is going to be. And they are using the smokable hemp products as to help them. So for the Texas government to be so inconsiderate of all them, that shows that they don't really know what they're doing when they make these laws. How you doing, Willie? Are you going today? I'm doing an interview.
Yeah, you know, it's very true. Like that was my main thing because for one, we had the Texas governor that was just all like, "Yo, open back up, you know, the economy," and then look what the fuck happened. And then it's just all like, and then on top of that, you know, we have, you know, this source of income for people, and you want like it for me, it almost felt like, and I don't want to be that conspiracy guy, but it just felt like it was that particular move was very targeted to a specific demographic, you know, like a certain demographic of people that found a benefit of having smokable products as far as within their establishment, because that this isn't just for us. I'm pretty sure gas stations, I'm pretty sure several other places that just included smokable hemp products were seeing an increase in sales that they wouldn't have had, and it wasn't just no small increase, you know. And so it it's very it's discouraging to a sense, you know, because with me, you know, I don't have a physical shop, so everything that I'm doing, like, I don't have to worry about overhead and different things like that. But even then, you know, having to turn around and get this $250 license, you know, just every year, you know, like it's the levels is like ridiculous. But the one thing that I'm realizing, especially during a time like this, is how much things are not set in stone. And even though they push that particular thing, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if some flip of the switch, that whole thing just got revamped and just straight up everything. Now, I think this is just a prediction based on my book. You know, in my book, took place in 2025, and Texas was, you know, even though it's a fiction book, Texas was the last to approve cannabis in general, like to finally get that shit, you know, fully good to go. Now, seeing the way that they're maneuvering with this, which is so, to me, it didn't even make sense that that was something to even do right now. It really didn't. I don't know how you're going to be able to give it the right attention on the economic and as far as a health standpoint during this time. There's no way. There's no way. You have a bunch of, other things as far as trying to figure out as far as a vaccine, or figure out what's even going on, because so many people are just confused because they're hearing and seeing so many different things coming from the top down. Like, it's not even a whole like conspiracy thing. You have literally people from the White House that are saying contradicting stuff. You have the freaking president himself that says contradicting stuff. And I know he's a Gemini, but still, to have this play out in the way that it is, it's pretty ridiculous. But I really feel like there's gonna be some switcheroo, that ends up, something ends up going to pass. I don't think that they gave it a fair to ignore like 1,600 plus people telling you, and these are retail businesses, these are people who actually use the product, these are people just in support. And for you to ignore all of that, like, it's one of those things that, do you even care about your civilians? Like, do you even care? Because there's the most people who are speaking about this stuff or making decisions about the stuff don't even use the stuff. Right. So therefore, you're coming from it from a detached reality, making these particular rules.
Yeah, they didn't listen to us at all. And with this new ruling, once I register, at any time of the day, they can come into my store, look at everything, all the files, so that's something new. So I understand they want to make sure everything is legal and by the books, but there are ways of record keeping that they should have thought about before. And it's spoken with the business owners, and I shared my comments as a pharmacist who's people are coming here to use this stuff for healing. So that was completely ignored. And there aren't enough people in the healthcare field, not enough people from the community of Black healthcare providers that they're listening to when they're making these decisions that affect us.
Yeah, for real. And so, I want to ask this question before the very last thing. So you're at the year mark.
Yep.
What are some of the plans and thoughts and action for the next year of business?
For the next year, really growing the the CBD brand, Dr. Redding CBD. We're starting with the initial rollout, but in the lab when we're rolling in full gear. So they'll be coming out soon. Really sharing my recipes and cooking with the olive oil and putting that book together and releasing that later this year and doing more workshops. So monthly, we're going to have a different health topic, and people can learn more about those by following us on our Facebook and Instagram and checking out our website and joining our email list. So when we send out those, they'll be all streamed so you can join the webinars, or we'll have the recordings available if you can't make those live. And going out to more health fairs, doing more stuff for the community, uh, as much as we can with following the distancing and quarantine guidelines. But it's all exciting stuff. I it all started falling into place once I put it all in my plan and started thinking about my goals and objectives. That's one thing I've always been goal oriented, focusing on what I need to achieve. So once that all started falling in place, uh, It's been exciting. I'm looking forward to this next year. Again, everything it, with everything now being so fluid with sometimes the law is this, they can go and change another law. So I just got to be flexible. That's one thing I've taken away, uh, put in my mind, what would my yoga teacher self do, being flexible. So in my daily life and with things in the business and using that just to help people stay well and keeping that goal in my mind that I'm here for people to help heal. Yeah, so the next year is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So everyone stay tuned. Keep following us. Come and check us out in the shop. Check us out online. And we got what you need to help you stay well during this time. Yeah.
Yeah, my last question is, what advice do you have for whether entrepreneurs or people working from home or just the regular Joe Blow that's feeling it right now? Maybe they're not feeling creative, maybe they're not feeling, up to, wanting to be up at 100, or just feeling depressed during right now, what words of wisdom or, tips do you have for people during this time?
Start writing stuff down. One of my friends, she got me this planner, or she told me about this planner, and I got one. It was uh, a law of attraction planner. So you just put in, just start it from the years, just starting everything you want to do from the year and on. Or if you don't want to do that, just journaling stuff, writing stuff down. Once you process things that you start in your mind, you seeing it out in the words, and you speak it to other people. And just start bouncing those ideas around and work on your body. Sometimes we're just exhausted. We need to get rest, and our body's not able to rest if we're in the fight or flight mode, that sympathetic nervous system dominant state, where your body is not able to just chill and let all those creative juices flow. So work on your body. Go for a walk when you can. Go ride a bike. Do something that you love doing. If you're not able to create, um, express your creativity, just find something else that you like doing that doesn't require that energy. Maybe just doing some form of exercise, look up some different breathing techniques that you can do just to either calm you down or build some heat within your body if that's what you need. Um, Use your network. Everyone knows somebody, so even uh, if you're if it's a retail space in an industry that you want to get into, talk to the owner of a small business. If there's some local artists that you've been following, or anyone that does something that you're interested in, I'm sure they've had those times where they've been in that state where they just been down or not motivated, and just reach out to them. They always love hearing from fans or someone who has that same passion. At least I know, if you are looking for a mentor or someone to mentor them. Uh, so you can start there and really just write stuff down, or start with gratitude for what you have right now, because that can really spark up stuff. 'Cause some people don't take the time to realize what they have right now is enough to get them where they need to go. You always have enough for what you got right now, because you can build off of that.
No, those are excellent advice and tips. And where can people find you, and what sales do you got, that way people can go ahead and jump on that?
All right, so you can thank Texas for 50% off smokable. So all the vape cartridges and the pre-rolls, 50% off until the law takes effect. This comes in August 2nd, so through the end of the month, we'll be having those sales, as well as when the products come out next week for the anniversary. We'll have some giveaways, and those will be discounted at an introductory price to get you all started trying those. And you can find us Mo-City Apothecary.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Mo-City Apothecary. You can link directly to our online store from there, as well as read the information that I put out, health tips, We'll be recording more videos and other content just to spread the message in various different forms, just so people can get all the tools that they need. And anything else? Um, yeah, I think that's it.
Super dope, man. Well, Dr. Justin Redding in the place to be, black
Yep.
owned business right
Mo-City
here. So
Apothecary. Yep.
yes, make sure y'all support. And yeah, I'll have the links and everything scrolling when I do this live. So yeah, thank you for joining us and
Yes.
congratulations, a year in
Yeah.
the business, man.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for having me. Everybody, everyone stay well.
Yes, yes. All right. And you have a good one. Peace.
Peace.